Hello and welcome to Decision 2024. We have Vice President Mike Pence versus Senator Elizabeth Warren. Here was the results of the last election, the 2020 election. Donald Trump defeated Joe Biden. Here's the CNN expert map prediction, having Elizabeth Warren defeat Mike Pence 332 to 205. Let's Talk Elections map prediction, Mike Pence defeating Elizabeth Warren 313 to 225. Election predictions officials map 304 to 234, Elizabeth Warren's favor. The Young Turks election prediction 473 to 65 in Elizabeth Warren's favor. It is now time for the 7 p.m. poll closings. Georgia, too close to call. Mike Pence does have a lead in the state. Indiana, projected to go to Mike Pence. This is the current vice president's home state. Kentucky, projected to go to Mike Pence. South Carolina, the Mike Pence's VP running mate, his home state. Vermont, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Virginia, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren does have a lead in the state, however. Here's the current map thus far, 28 to 3 in Mike Pence's favor. It is now time for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. North Carolina, too close to call. Mike Pence does have a lead in the state. Ohio, too close to call. Mike Pence does have a lead in the state. West Virginia, projected to go to Mike Pence. Virginia now being projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Georgia, still too close to call. Mike Pence keeps his lead in the state. Here's the current map thus far, 32 to 16 in Mike Pence's favor. It is now time for the 8 p.m. poll closings. Alabama, projected to go to Mike Pence. Connecticut, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Delaware, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. D.C. is also projected to go to Warren. Florida, too close to call. Mike Pence does have a lead in the state. Illinois being projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Maine at large, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren does have a lead in the state. Maine's 1st district, however, is projected to go to Elizabeth Warren, and Maine's 2nd district projected to go to Mike Pence. Maryland projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren's home state, is projected to go to her. Mississippi projected to go to Mike Pence. Missouri projected to go to Mike Pence. New Hampshire, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren does have a lead in the state. New Jersey, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Oklahoma, projected to go to Mike Pence. Pennsylvania, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren does have a lead in the state. Rhode Island, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Tennessee, projected to go to Mike Pence. North Carolina, too close to call. Mike Pence keeps his lead in the state. Ohio, too close to call. Mike Pence remains in the lead. Georgia is still too close to call. Mike Pence remains his lead. Here is the current map thus far, 87 to 75 in Elizabeth Warren's favor. It is now time for the 8:30 p.m. poll closings. Arkansas projected to go to Mike Pence. Ohio now being projected to go to Mike Pence. North Carolina now being called to go to Mike Pence. Florida, too close to call. Mike Pence remains in the lead in this state. Maine at large, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren remains in the lead in this state. New Hampshire, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren keeps her lead in the state. Pennsylvania, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren maintains her lead in the state. Georgia, too close to call. Mike Pence maintains his lead in the state. Here's the current map thus far, 114 to 87. Mike Pence is now back in the lead in this race. It is now time for the 9 p.m. poll closings. Arizona, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the race. Colorado, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Kansas, projected to go to Mike Pence. Louisiana, projected to go to Mike Pence. Michigan, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the state. Minnesota, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the race. Nebraska, projected to go to Mike Pence. However, the 2nd congressional district in Nebraska is too close to call. Mike Pence does have a lead in the race, however. New Mexico, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the race. New York, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. North Dakota projected to go to Mike Pence, as well as South Dakota. Texas, too close to call. Mike Pence has a lead in the state. Wisconsin, too close to call. Mike Pence has the lead in the race. Wyoming projected to go to Mike Pence. Man at large now being called to go to Warren. Georgia now being called to go to Mike Pence. Florida, too close to call. Mike Pence has a lead in the race. New Hampshire, Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the state. Pennsylvania, still too close to call. Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the race, however, it is very narrow. Here's the current map. Thus far, 157 to 126 in favor of Mike Pence. It is now time for the 10 p.m. poll closings. Iowa, too close to call. Mike Pence has a lead in the state. Montana, projected to go to Mike Pence. Nevada, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren has a lead in the race. Utah, projected to go to Mike Pence. New Mexico, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Florida, now being projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. This is a net gain for Democrats from 2020. New Hampshire, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Another net gain for Democrats from 2020. Pennsylvania, projected to go to Mike Pence. Arizona, too close to call. Still, Elizabeth Warren does have a lead in the race. Michigan, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren's lead is dwindling. Minnesota, too close to call. Elizabeth Warren does have a lead in the race. Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District. Mike Pence has a lead in the state, or district, excuse me. Texas, Texas, still too close to call. Mike Pence still has a lead in the race. Wisconsin, too close to call. Mike Pence keeps his lead in the race, however. Here is the current map thus far, 186 to 166 in Mike Pence's favor. It is now time for the 11 p.m. poll closings. California, the home state of Elizabeth Warren's running mate, she is the projected winner in California. Hawaii, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Idaho, projected to go to Mike Pence. Oregon, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Washington, projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Arizona, now being projected to go to Elizabeth Warren. Iowa, now being projected to go to Mike Pence. Donald Trump won Iowa by 10 points in 2020. It looks like Mike Pence has won it by 8. Minnesota, being projected to go to Mike Pence. Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, now being projected to go to Mike Pence. Nevada, a net gain for Republicans from 2020. Joe Biden won this state by less than 1. Looks like Mike Pence has won it by around 2 to 3 percentage points. Mike Pence has won the state of Nevada. Texas, now being projected to go to Mike Pence. Michigan, still too close to call. The state has swung from the Warren column to the Pence column. Wisconsin, still too close to call. Mike Pence has a lead in the race. Here's the current map thus far, 253 to 257 in the Warren. Warren does have a lead in this race, but it's a very narrow race. It's going to go down to whoever wins Wisconsin or Michigan first. Whoever, when we call either one of those states, we will probably have a winner in this race. Warren can win Wisconsin, that's 267. Pence can win Alaska and Wisconsin, and that'll be 266. So this race is most likely going to come down to Michigan. Whoever wins the state of Michigan, they win the entire presidency. Alaska now being projected to go to Mike Pence. Wisconsin being projected to go to Mike Pence. It is 2:45 and we now have a call for Wisconsin. Mike Pence has narrowly won the state of Wisconsin. Michigan is now being projected to go to Mike Pence. It is 4:36 in the morning, and Mike Pence has finally won the state of Michigan. The state has been going back and forth between Warren and Pence, but it does look like Mike Pence has won the state of Michigan. Elizabeth Warren has conceded the race, and Mike Pence has been elected the 46th president of the United States. The first time since the Reagan-Bush have we had back-to-back presidents from the same party, and a back-to-back president to vice president presidents, of course. First time since a vice president has been elected the president after the sitting president. This is the first time since Reagan-Bush that this has happened. Here's the final electoral map, 281 to 257. Mike Pence has won this election pretty handedly against Elizabeth Warren. This was a tough night, tough race for both campaigns. It looked like Michigan could have gone either way, but we had a lot of flips from the Democrat side. Democrat side had a lot of gains, flipping Florida and New Hampshire from Republican to red to blue. However, Pence did end up picking up Nevada in his quest to become the President of the United States. And we do have the marginal map. The closest race that was won by Mike Pence was Michigan, winning it very narrowly. The closest race that was won by the Warren campaign was Florida. The biggest lopsided win for the Pence campaign was West Virginia. The biggest lopsided win for the Warren campaign was California. We now have the popular vote totals. Mike Pence did end up winning the popular vote 50.3 to 48.3, roughly 2 points, a 2-point popular vote victory for the Pence campaign. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you later.